Square. You've used Square as you purchase something or use Square in your own businesses, right? So Square today sees 10 billion transactions a year. You can imagine the data that they are collecting with all of those credit card swipes. And so what Square is beginning to do is they're making available small cash advances in the amount of $5,000 to $10,000 on a monthly basis to those customers of theirs who are using their technology to run their business, okay, at extremely low interest rates. Okay? So these are two organizations that see the opportunity to help create a bridge on the cash flow problems that these freelancers are facing. Now, accounting is another issue. So we have these two young women. Where's Eliza? She's meeting with her accountant. Ah, yes, this is her first time filing a full year as a freelancer, isn't it? Yeah, it should be interesting. At the accountant's office, what do you mean I cannot claim chocolate as a business expense? Okay? And yes, it's tongue-in-cheek, but the challenge that we see is that it's very, very difficult for freelancers to understand how to separate their personal from their professional expenses in a way that doesn't make their heads explode and pull their hair out, and in a way that doesn't get them in trouble with the tax authorities. So one of the organizations, I don't know how many of you have used QuickBooks or Quicken or TurboTax, but there's an organization known as Intuit, based in Silicon Valley, the very first company to actually win in a head-to-head competition with Microsoft during its very predatory days and win, right? And that's what Quicken was. Quicken was personal finance. And so Quicken is, for a Fortune 100 company, an incredibly innovative company that uses lean startup to manage their operations and is all about improving people's personal financial situation. And so they saw this ahead of any other Fortune 100 company, and they created the QuickBooks Self-Employed Business Unit. Okay? And so what they're doing is they've created a specific version of QuickBooks that makes it way easier for freelancers to manage their business expenses and file their taxes. Okay? And of course, in a nation of freelancers, we all need benefits. Here in Canada, you guys may take for granted, for those of you who are from Canada, you may take for granted health benefits. I think you all know in the US we're a little bit more mercenary, okay? And it's hard to take something for granted that you don't get. And so there's a very, very interesting company called Stride, S-T-R-I-D-E. And what Stride essentially does is it helps freelancers find the perfect, affordable health insurance plan for them. And not surprisingly, in this area of massive data, it is using big data to identify a small number of plans that they think are optimized for a specific freelancer. Okay? And so we've crunched the numbers and we've found a great plan for you. Okay, bronze plan, it's a $5,000 PPO accepted by all of your doctors. Estimated care cost about $500. And your worst case scenario is out of pocket, you'll spend about $8,000 in a given year. Okay? There's another very interesting company that's really at the bleeding edge of this called Zenefits. And Zenefits just raised capital that gave it a $4 billion valuation about 2 weeks ago. And what Zenefits has done is they've turned the software model on its head. What they've essentially done is they're giving away all kinds of human resource software in the interest of selling you insurance plans, okay? And this has really allowed them to scale. They've got 10,000 customers already, and they've only been around for about 18 months, okay? So they saw this huge opportunity to tap into the freelance economy by giving the software away and giving them the opportunity to optimize their plans. And then finally, let me highlight another significant challenge for freelancers, and that is personal productivity. There's a billion different things that they need to take care of day in and day out, okay? One of the companies that is doing an extraordinary job of this is a company called LiftSession. Rafi Chamakian is the CEO and co-founder of this organization. He's a rock-solid Montreal-based entrepreneur. He's actually here in the room this morning. What LiftSession has seen that so many other fitness apps have not seen is the fact that personal trainers are a very, very important part of the industry. Almost every other fitness app has tried to disintermediate personal trainers. What LiftSession has done is it recognizes the importance of personal trainers, which is becoming an increasingly important job in the new normal economy. And it allows personal trainers to expand their market by providing training sessions to people within the comfort of their own homes. But it's taken that one step further. It's actually going through world-class gyms like Equinox, for example. Okay? And so even though Lift Session was only born here in Montreal about 4 or 5 months ago, it's already gotten staggering momentum in terms of its industry partnerships and in terms of the customer validation that it's received. Okay? And finally, a very interesting company, and the entrepreneurs Daniel LaPlante and Elie Perez are also in the room. They are also here from Montreal. They are in the business of providing virtual assistants to owners of micro businesses and owners of, or freelancers, right? Because these business owners and these freelancers can't possibly do all of the things that are required of them. And so the insight that Booksy has is that let's use automation to make a lot of these more simple tasks just get done automatically in the background while the freelancer or the micro business owner is conducting business. So it's essentially a force multiplier. It's essentially something that has allowed them to bring on extra employees for nothing more than the cost of a monthly subscription to the Booksy Virtual Assistant Suite. Okay? So that is the thesis. The freelance economy is here. How many of you in the room today are freelancers? How many people today are freelancers? Raise your hand side. Just look around the room. And I would say, just looking around the room, about maybe 15–20% of you are freelancers today. I promise you that if I came back here in 3 years, I promise you over half of the room would have your hand raised. How many of you have seen colleagues, friends of yours that have gone into the freelancing world and have struggled with some of the challenges that I've described today? Okay? So what I would hope you would do is make them aware of some of these applications, some of these services, because these are services that are designed to simplify the lives of freelancers. So I want to just thank you for your time this morning and your attention. I know that this is a very, very structured program. I don't think we have time for Q&A. So I think it's my job now to land this plane on time and turn the microphone back over to Sebastian and hope he doesn't slap me. Okay? Please don't slap me today.